Howdy. Friday. Thank Crunchy it's Friday. How are you all? Who needs a drink? Between filming watches and doing all that stuff. A busy few days. Yes, I'm wearing the Tudor. We're going out on Insta. Is it working? I think it is. Wow. Never bloody works. There's a PayPal straight in. Already got one from Kieran. Thank you, brother. But got one here from Philip. Like clockwork. Great to see you guys. Tonight we're going to be talking about other watch YouTube channels. Spicy show. The good, the not so good, the not so bad, the bad, and the awful, and the ugly. Who's going to be in that list? Who do you think? Who's behind this? Who's behind this, Dom? Who's behind this? No, who's behind this, Stan? Who do you think? Who do you think? Teddy Bess. Mr. Black Magic himself. Actually, it's kind of funny because the clip came up earlier of Bill Burr talking about Sexy Beast. He's just as big a fan, a fanboy of Sexy Beast as I am. I was like, of course.
And I think there was something about those older guys, like Steve McQueen and those guys, just the way they held themselves.
I love when Ben Kingsley answers the phone. He goes, hello? Watching telly. Is this Stan? What you doing? What I love about that movie is there's so many heist movies that start, hey, we're doing one more job, man.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be in paradise. What I love about that movie is it starts after that. These guys rob people their whole lives. They got the money, and now they're in Spain, and they're just chilling. They're with the women they love,
yeah.
and then it brings them back. I love that when he talks about London. Whoa, London, don't make me laugh. Every count with a long face, talking about the rain and all that.
So good, so good. Well. Do you miss it? Well, London, do I? Fuck. That's so great. We love the Bill Burr as well. You guys are Bill Burr fans? No Rolex, no sex. Talking to himself while having the shave is the best scene, yeah. Shouldn't have said that. Said what? That. What you said. Jackie the Packy. When we stay stum, don't stum. Yeah, also I found there was Bill Burr. For some of you lunk faces out there who are like, how could you say that about that CEO? Luigi and Johnny. I found this clip. Let me see if I can. I'm like, yeah, there you go, Bill. Thank you. Great minds. Great minds think alike. Those people are forgetting a very important point.
You know what's annoying me about this kid who killed this CEO is none of these news programs are talking about the incredible lack of empathy from the general public about this because of how these insurance companies treat people when they are at their most vulnerable, after we've all given them our money every fucking month, and now we finally need you, and all you do is deny us. And then these pussies and all of these things are taking the pictures of their CEOs off their websites. You know, I got to be honest with you, okay? I love that that fucking CEOs are fucking afraid right now. You should be. By and large, you're all a bunch of selfish, greedy fucking pieces of shit, and a lot of you are mass murderers.
Yeah.
You just don't pull the trigger. That's why it looks clean. That's why these people look, oh my God, oh, he was just, you know, walking into a hotel. It's like, okay, but what was his job? What did he do? What was the results of it?
Here. You wouldn't believe the amount of people. Hey, so you're just okay with? I'm like, you're forgetting a very important part of the puzzle. Very important part. Do I think a man should be allowed to walk up to another man on the streets of New York and shoot him? No, of course not. That is a crime, and what Luigi Mangione did was a crime. And he will most likely go to jail for his crime. Unless there's all these new details are gonna, there's some sort of loophole in the system there with the double jeopardy thing. Maybe his lawyer is gonna, I don't think that would be just either for him to walk away. However, am I going to lament the shooting of a mass murderer on the streets of New York? I don't care what fucking suit he wears. No, I'm not going to lament it. Sorry. You don't like that. Go watch another channel. Anyway, Bill Burr. We love him. Everyone's loving the Tudor. Let me give you a nice... What's up with this? Oh, it's just a little flared on the end. Nice. Zoom on the Tudor. Feeling gold. Chrono. You like that? Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, Ariel, when will Torino video come? I reckon I'll give it about, if I keep going at the rate that I'm going, I have to stop for a minute because I have a deadline for Monday on a new watch from a brand that I've worked with over the years that I can't show you and I can't talk about, but it's until Monday. They're like, please don't show any photos until the release on Monday. So I have to do that, and it's part of the contract I have with them. That 8 a.m. actually, CET. I have to drop that video. And then I'm also I'm shooting the nomadic ladies watches, and they're beautiful. The one with the mother of pearl is really nice. But anyway, I think if I keep going at this rate of acceleration, we're looking at a week to 10 days, believe it or not. I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm basically just piecing the scenes together by themselves, you know. What order I'm going to put them in is going to be different. It's a different story. I am a fan of landing people into a story. I've told you guys this before. To just, rather than start the video with an intro, The intro is really nice. And start it and then go, welcome to Turin. You know, this week we're in Turin. I'm actually just going to go straight into talking about stuff on the streets. And, you know, I don't think people need their hands held as much as you might think. You know what I mean? But there are some good passages in there. And yeah, it's looking nice. I've yet to do all the watch stuff. I have all the shots, but I've yet to kind of insert the watch stuff into the video. That comes next, I think. And then the voiceover stuff. So maybe 10 days, maybe 15. Nice too. Do you like it? Now, I still have this new one, the 300, and it's for sale. It's in Frollo's store. I think his son got it at the AD. He took it because, you know, it would up his spend history. I think it's a little big for his wrist. So I was over there one day and he was like, hey, you want to show it out to your crowd, see if anybody's into it? I'm like, sure. Why not? Why not? And it's just a 300 version of this, but it has a gold dial because there is a gold dial version of this. There's the black and then there's the gold one. I'm not sure. I think the gold one might be more. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense, right? Stand to reason. Need to check them on the website. Let me go do that. Tonight we will be talking shit about other channels. No, I'm kidding. We will be just discussing other YouTube channels. I've noticed a certain lull in the quality of YouTube channels, and I've noticed watch channels. I mean, and I've noticed a lot of people moving over to, or focusing at least on Instagram and TikTok rather than YouTube. Gone are the days when we were all a big happy bunch on YouTube. Just winding this puppy up. Yeah, so it's this one. Nice, right? 93 pounds. Is it 18 karat solid gold? Well, on these watches, the end link is solid and the rest of the links are wrapped. And that's not plated. Plated is if you scratch it, you'll see the steel underneath. If you scratch this, you won't see it. It would have to go really deep because they're wrapped in gold. The bezel is solid and the crown. And assumably the dial. I don't know because this is my one. So I don't have a gold dial, but I guess if I look up the specs in a minute, we can find out, can't we? I'll put it on. It's essentially the same size watch, it's just not the chronograph. I like it too, you know. I could sell the chrono and keep this. I like Tudors. They look good on me. They look like a Rolex on me. You know. And they have a strong, masculine handsomeness to them. Good looking watch. Now this is discontinued. I went to look for it on the Tudor website. Yeah. Let me pull it up. Tudor watches company. Yeah, because I was looking for. I just want to see the retail price of this three-hander, and I couldn't find it. And then one of you guys filled me in and said, "No, this year they stopped making that one," which was very surprising to me because the chrono version is still there. Let's have a look here. What's going on? That's all in Italian. That's fun. English, please. I mean, I can read Italian, but let's make it easier. Never mind. Orologi. Chrono. Here we go. Hey, there's the famous white lady. What's going on? Oh, this way. Those things are ugly. I have to say that yellow one is ugly. Sorry. I like the black one. I like that blue one. Where's the steel and gold? Here we are. Visualizza tutto. Tutti. Something going on here. Here we are. You see, they still have this, the chrono. The one I have on my wrist. It's 10,000 euros now. Don't buy it. Don't buy it from Tudor for 10,000. Buy it on the grey market for 6. And yeah, I guess this dial must be gold plated because it's also 10,000. See, there's the gold one. So that's essentially what I was. Oh, actually, what I have on my wrist right now, but it's the chrono version. But the 300 is not on the website anymore. Why would they do that? In direct competition with another model, perhaps? I don't know. Isn't that crazy? 10,000, which means this one, being a 300, if it was still on the roster, would be what, 9? So, and I think Samuele, who's Paolo's son, I think he's happy with about half that. Maybe a little over half that. So it's brand new on the box with full warranty. So I don't know. You can let me know. Reach out to me if you want it. A single super chat. Yeah, isn't that amazing? Not to worry. Crypto Seven's in the room. Funny, you can walk in and buy that lovely Tudor, but if you want a simple steel Submariner, forget it. Well, you can walk into lots of stores and buy lots of beautiful watches. Sorry about all the noise there, the ASMR. I'm just having some lime, freshly squeezed lime and tequila cool me off. You can buy a lot of watches. Listen, the Breguet in question in the Turin video, I mean, it's no longer on their product list anymore, but the ones that replaced it are in the high 100s, approaching 200. Absolutely do not pay that. You know? Go in the grade and you'll get one for 50. Depending which one it is, of course. It's just the way of it. Can't you walk into a Mega now and buy a Seamaster or a Speedy just like that? The times have changed, guys. Nina, do you actually watch any YouTube channels? I do, and thank you for saying that. So let's get to the point. What channels do you guys like? Let's hear it. One channel I still watch. It's a guilty pleasure. It actually drives me crazy because of all it is just watching guys walk in and get fleeced. You know, they want to get rid of their one. And the prices they're offered are just, ugh. It's painful to see, but I guess it is easy to sell to one of these guys rather than going and trying to sell it to yourself, to by yourself, is what I should say, to an end user. It's these guys, Watch Trader and Co. These guys, look, they're taking in an Omega. There's a lot of trade-ins. That's a Tudor. They do a lot of trade-ins, sell a lot of Rolex, and they even talk about vintage watches. They're good, fun lads. I recommended their channel a few years ago. Then there was some kind of scandals associated with them, and it turns out they were mates of Paul Thorpe. But I think if you're a watch seller anywhere in UK, you probably came across Paul Thorpe at some point. Anyway, that's the guy Hendo. He probably is the one who knows Paul from the old days. But he knows a lot about vintage and so on. Anyway, it's every Sunday, and I just go, you know what? I just want to sit and look at a bunch of watches. I don't even need to leave the volume on. I can see what's happening, you know. There are a lot of people coming in and you know, after a gold Daytona, and they hand them over then 60 watches for, you know, you're like, what are you doing, man? My God, like, you're really getting fleeced here. But, you know, some people just get bored of their collection, and they want to watch, and they know they can walk in. Look, some guy went in with these fucking rare Daytonas. My God. Look at that. So if you just really just want watch porn, like straight up watch porn with nothing else, and the lads are kind of funny, the lads as well, they seem like good fun, then it's, I think it's a good channel. I enjoy it. It's a guilty pleasure. Channel Counts is in the room. 279. How are you, man? Kyle Penna. I'll get the ball rolling. Smoking a Partagas D4. Ooh, jealous. Nice one. Very nice. Brian, the shots of the products is always good with them. Yeah, it's all right. Like if you want to watch a trade channel where they're buying and selling watches, for me, it's one of the least offensive. I find all of those to be relatively offensive, you know, because you're literally seeing how much money people are losing on their watches when they walk in with them. It's a hard reality. But of course, the lads have to make money. Like, they're not there for the good of their health, so someone's going to make a profit. So I suppose, as I said, I think the trade-off is you can walk right in and waltz right out with the new watch on your wrist. You know, you may not get the money that you were hoping for, but you can do it within the space of 10 minutes. Whereas if you get all your watches and you take photos of them and put them all on Chrono 24 or whatever, it could be months, you know what I mean? And certain pieces mightn't even move at all, you know? So that's the trade-off. Q change Chang 09. Jenny L will surface just often enough to remind you that she and her husband still have watch channels. How is she? Like, is she still doing her thing? Do you remember she was the queen? She was overtaken by Britt Pierce, I guess. There she is. Do you remember? She could not do wrong. She could make a video of anything, and she would get 300,000 views in the first day. This is one of her biggest videos. Is it? Here it is, hands on the swatch. She got the swatch before anyone. I remember she had one on the first day or the second day, whereas it was impossible for the rest of us to. So I don't know what her hookup was there. So it was a race to the finish line with that, whoever had one on their wrist. would get the millions of views. But I think she has a bigger one. Oh, yeah, she has real versus fake, just like me. I've got a big video of real versus fake. Wow, this one has 8 million views. Wow. Wow. Patek Philippe Super Clone shocked me. Woo. And then this one has 7.4, opening a $600 fake Rolex. Look. Yeah, she's got some big hitters here. I've got like 2 videos in the millions of views. She has at least 6. That's amazing. That's really great. But they were, I guess, a few years ago. This is 3 months ago. She did the AP swatch. It only has 22,000 views. Well, this one has 245, so that's an unboxing. So she's still doing okay. Oh no, hold on. 12,000, 16,000. Okay, so the one she got was, yeah, so unboxing the Royal Pop. I suppose that was kind of striking while the iron is hot kind of thing. Well, isn't she a mom? Like, she's probably better fucking things to think about. It's amazing though, isn't it? There was a time you couldn't turn on YouTube without seeing her face. Remember? You guys fans of hers still? Ken Daigle, she stopped paying for review. I don't know if she did that. Did she? You can't pay for views at that level, guys. You can use the YouTube promotion tool. I use it every now and then. It's just you put your money down and it helps YouTube promote the video more and put it in front of more eyes and push to get you subs and so on. It's kind of a waste of money though. It's very expensive and doesn't really reap great rewards. But buying like 8 million views would cost, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, I'm talking about buying views or buying subs. You have to go onto these dodgy, weird websites, and it's all very yucky. And you're risking losing your channel. It's not fucking even close to worth it. I don't recommend anybody do it. And anyway, then YouTube sweep. YouTube, every couple of months, they do a sweep. So they'll kill all your fake views and your fake subs. So what's the point? Who are you trying to impress? Yourself? I don't think she bought. I don't know. She certainly didn't buy 8 million fucking views. That would cost, I don't know what that would cost. It wouldn't make any sense. But perhaps you're onto something. I think it shows there that I think she just softened. Her channel just softened and is no longer what everybody dashes to watch, except for the unboxing of the AP Royal Oak, because that was a kind of a big news story, right? I made a couple of shorts. They did pretty well, and I made a couple of videos on it. I even unboxed one right here. But it didn't do very well at all. In the end, I pulled that video. Justin Hast is really good, Brian. Who's that? Who's Justin Hast? I'm curious. I don't know what you guys are watching. Justin Hast. He's got a lot of songs. How do I not know this guy? I feel ashamed. He's got a lot of subs. Let's have a look at his quality here. I don't know this guy. I'm just off the radar completely. Wow. long format, 48 minutes, all sitting around having a chat. Thanks for turning me on to this guy. This big beefy guy, big wrists. Justin Haas. Okay. Then of course there's oh, look at him there with Dr. Brian Cox. Holy shit. That's one hell of a guest to have on. Holy shit. It's only got 28,000 views. What the fuck? He's a big deal, that guy. Then there's This Watch, That Watch, right? He's kind of flavor of the day at the moment, right? This guy, his subs are building massively. I remember, it was only 6 or 8 months ago. He was like, I have 25,000 subscribers. He was so proud. Look, he's over 200 now. He makes good stuff. I mean, this is just talk. He just sits there and talks. I don't think he does much more. I think he uses some, it's just him there sitting in his living room or whatever. He does some nice cutaways now, it looks like. Some nice illustrations. But all the shots are just stock from other websites and things. Yeah, he's just using stuff from a website here or some illustrative video about Breitling here. But it's tastefully done, and he has a smart insight. So I think that's why people tune in, because they're like, I want to know what this guy thinks about this. He talks about the market a lot. He did talk about Venezianico one time, basically spruiking their brand. But I suppose I'll forgive him. That's first strike. No, he's good. And he gets good views. Or views, as he would say. He has a funny accent. Views. Yeah. A lot of people watch his stuff. What about the old favorites? What about Adrian? Remember, he was king of the world. Now, this guy has really good photography. Here's a guy you can't knock his photography. There he is. We all know who that is, right? The unmistakable. This is all, look at his presentation. Like he hasn't ripped this off anyone. That's his lighting and presentation. He's really fucking good with the camera. It's really bright, but some people like that. I'm not into bright. Oh, there's his famous Omega with the scratched reflective coating. Yeah, I remember that story. Vice. This is a good looking watch, actually. I like the broadsword hands. Wow. He's a real enthusiast, this guy. He loves field watches and tool watches and so on. He has a weak spot for the bling, but he doesn't go in for it much. And he's just really well fucking presented. He's found there's a hair on the desk. Look, that happens to me all the time. Look, right there. Damn. I bet he was in the editing go, fuck. It's easy to miss, guys. You don't understand. Like, you're trying to polish up the watch and take little bits of dust off the crystal and so on. And I have a little rubber thing that like a pump. You do that and it sprays air out to just kind of get rid of. You spend a lot of time trying to fix that stuff, and then sometimes you miss something. You do a full shoot, and then you pull it up on the screen, and you're seeing everything real close and high quality, and you're like, oh God, there's like a really annoying piece of dust or something, or a hair or something. It can happen. It can happen. Yeah, I bet he was like, fuck, I missed that. And there's his Explorer. He loves his Explorer. Oh yeah, and he always pushes his straps. That's the nicest of the straps. He sent me one of those way back when. It was a gray one like that. Yeah, it was a really nice NATO strap. Let's see what you guys are saying. Adrian once bought the two-tone root beer, so he has a soft spot for the bling, but sold it quickly again. Interesting. GE530 Mike. Yeah, that's this watch, that watch. Mike. He's awesome. Yeah. He has a lot of fans. I did kind of criticize him for talking about Venezianico because I was like, dude, you do realize, like, if you said anything bad about Venezianico, these guys would go after you. Like, and I explained the whole thing with Venezianico. And people were attacking me in the comments like I was going after their favorite guy. People are very, very touchy and protective, you know. There's a lot of people, if you come after me, there's a lot of my viewers are like, hey, leave him alone, what the fuck, But there's also people who are like, yeah, we love him anyway. Like, Oshin's a bit of a mess, but, we still like him. Like, oh, what, he drinks too much? Okay, fine, so do I. What do you, still makes good videos, so, and then there'll be others going, yeah, well, I hate that guy. Just, it's part of it. But who else? The critical drinker, Ray Ray. Yeah, he's movie reviews. Great. He's really good. He's massive channel. Yeah, I mean, there were other ways as well of getting subs in. I was on the Joe Hatab thing. And I got a lot of subs from that video. Because he's just so bloody gargantuan. He's just it's like a 747 flying into the room. He's got videos of, there it is. That's the one there, 13 million views. Look, I come up when you hover over your mouse. Look. So he put in my fucking YouTube into the thing. The Irish YouTuber friend in Venice. Look, my video about what it's really like to live in Italy, and the channel. So I get a lot of people who reach out to me saying, hey, I saw you on Joe's channel. 13 million views, pretty decent. That's just going to keep accumulating and accumulating. And I'm a very good portion of that video. So it was a stroke of luck for me. I hit it off with him. We were chatting there last week on Instagram. He's like, man, when's your next video coming out? I'm like, give me time, dude. I don't work as fast as you. You have a team. He's got like a full camera crew and editors and so on. I'm doing this all by myself. There's a PayPal just came in from Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Legend. I love the PayPals. I'm not gonna lie. Turkey neck G, £2 British. That's like $600. How many big videos you made in the last 6 months? Let me see. I don't think I've had any really big one. I mean, the Joe Hatab one gathers a lot of love, but let's check. Good question. I haven't been super focused lately. I've been doing a lot of paid promotion stuff. Like these latest two, that's 72,000, this is 65,000, 92. The Omega's finished one is 200,000. That's not bad. The Rolex Pepsi is finally going, is 117. This Do You Care one is very small because I made it members only. Rolex raised their prices. Hey, look at that Nomadic one, has 128. Decent. Have I had a million view one in the past while? No, last million, or the Polina one is 330 almost. But that's understandable. You don't have to fucking look at me, you can look at her. That makes it much easier. Cartier one's over 100,000. And then, of course, like Atuak aren't going to get that kind of viewership, so it's only 22 there. But no, the last big one I had was Trump, right? That was well over a year ago. Latest popular. Yeah, 1 year ago it says that was about a year and a half. It was 1.5 million. But I think the Joe Hattab one is just bringing in a lot of new folks. I think a lot of people just sub, you know. They see you and they sub. They might look at a minute and go, I'm bored. What's he talking about watches? But then they don't unsub, which is a great thing. Very few people unsub. Because what's the difference? You're not paying for the subscription. You just sub, and then you might even forget to unsub. Mark from Long Island Watches is a genuine watch guy. I had, thank you, Buddy Hell 99. I had him on my show ages ago. I just watched a video of his the other night for the first time in forever. He was being brought to court for some copyright infringement thing with watches or something. Machine Mark Long Island. Didn't I have him on? Did I unlist that video? I should relist it. No, it's nowhere here. It was a SWAT video. Maybe it's on the SWAT channel. He was so nice. And I bought a watch from him that didn't arrive in the mail because we used regular state mail, you know. USPS in the States. And Posta Italia here. Good luck between one or the other. I don't know where the watch is. So I waited about 6 weeks and then reached out to him and said, hey. He goes, oh my God. No, that's considered lost at this point. I'll just send you another one. And he used proper, DHL or whatever. FedEx or something. It got here in a couple of days. Super sweet guy. Yes. NATO was trademarked. That's right. Yeah, he was brought to court for that. But there was a new one. Or was there a new one? I don't know. He said it kind of forced him into rebranding his store, and he was actually kind of glad it happened. That's funny you mention him. He just came up on my radar. There's another guy who came up on my radar, Urban Gentry. I used to watch him all the time. And he just recently came up because he's into Breguet. And so am I. He's a Breguet boy now. So I was curious what he got. And, all of that. Where is he? I think he gets to the unboxing. He kind of makes you wait for it, which is clever. There it is. Look at that thing. Beautiful. 7337 day-date moon phase. Pretty nice. That's equally as nice as either of mine. On the side, it looks like the same watch. So, yeah, I guess he's still trucking on. I have that book. I went crazy for, no, not that exact book, but something similar. I went crazy one day on eBay buying all the Breguet books from over the years. They're really sexy. It's really nice to sit back with a coffee and a smoke. I was about to say cigarette, but I don't smoke cigarette. And flick through, you know. Who else is people talking about? G Chang. TVG is probably the first watch channel I started watching back in 2016. Is he had it that long? Oh my God. Speaking of that long, what about the Pontiff, the OG, the original? Let me change my watch first. What I put on? Change my watch and have a drink. All this lovely lime juice. Delish. Just got like 30 limes and squeeze them by hand. Somebody was asking me about the stone dial watches. The ones I sell on my website. They're asking about specs. Because I didn't have them on my website. No, I should add them. You know, specifications like, 40 mil case. It's actually just under 40. It's 39.8 or something. 20 mil lug width and 13 thickness. This is the Tiger Eye stone dials, real stone dials. Not too shabby. That's nice with the black, isn't it? That looks nice with the black t-shirt. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna look at that. What is Archie up to? Is he still alive? Archie. Of course, it's all Archie live stream now, isn't it? I think he's completely given up on doing his content, like his unboxings and stuff. He used to do like collection reviews. I used to enjoy those. Does he have a Breguet box, little desk thing? That's sexy. Oh yeah, he's a Breguet boy now too. I forgot about that. He's got 3 right there. Streamed. What was his latest stream? 9 hours ago. Okay, so he's doing it every single day. The views are abysmal, but he has his devotees who keep him alive, I think. This guy's been going forever, man. Let me go back to his just Archie Luxury, just to see how many years. Because live stream is relatively, or it's newer, right? It's a newer channel. Let's have a look at his oldest video. He may have pulled it down though. Look at that. Ah, shit. My God. I gotta tell you guys, Rolex 17 years ago. No way. Oh my God. I can't believe it, guys. 17 years? He did a Louis Vuitton bag. That was his first video, telling a fake from a genuine. 17. Wow. It was all bags and then a few watches. Really poor quality. He didn't care. Remember the one where he's like trying to change a strap and he's using the tools and he's like, fuck this thing, fuck. It was really hilarious. He was always into Patek Philippe. And they always look so tiny on his. He always had Calatravas and World Timers. They always look so tiny on his big wrists. People would sing 5 gold Pateks, like 5 gold rings. Remember, like the Christmas thing. 5 gold Pateks. Loads of bags. Didn't realize he did so many bags. Dang. Well, it is luxury. Archie luxury. It is actually luxury. It's not necessarily watches. Anything luxury. Yeah. Well, looks like he's still going. That's good. Ah, yes. No Rolex, no sex. Archie promoted you when you very first started, really early on. That's how I first got to know you. Not when I first started. He didn't know me. I remember actually watching an episode because producer Michael put a copyright strike on one of my videos, even though I was given permission to do it by him. And Paul Thorpe was my mate back then. He got very angry, so he went on. He was ripping everyone a new asshole. He was all the complaints he had about the watch space and his haters and people bringing up his son in conversations and stuff. And then one of them was like, "And producer Michael, what the fuck? Like, my friend O'Sheen, why would you do that to him?" You know. And that night, Archie was going, "What's wrong with Paul Thorpe?" And he goes, "Who is this OC guy? OC. Who is he talking about? Bear. I love you, Bear." So he didn't know me for a while. But yeah, eventually we kind of got along for a little while. I was on a show a couple of times. He was on my show, I think, a couple of times. They were the good old days. "Oh, Shane, you're cool. I've never known anyone cool." Remember that? He is so funny. I actually got along well with him. I spoke to him when one of his sons died and stuff. Yeah. Whatever. But, these things move on. The Pontiff, yeah. Follow Dave Jacks. Archie is a big boy, taller than you realize. That's right, the tap on the shoulder. You're right. I've seen him. I've never met him in the flesh, actually. The London Watch show he went to, I was not at. But he's tall. I believe he's 6'1", something like that. Yeah, maybe even more. Yeah, the older Archie fans will remember the infamous robbery. That's not older. That's on the grand scheme of things, man. That's actually that was only 3 or 4 years ago. Remember, he went away to America and he came home and they had broken in, taken all his watches. He was really down. What else? Who else? Well, there's Nico. I mean, he's still going, right? I guess he's the biggest one. I do not watch his stuff, and he's got 2 million subs. I don't watch his stuff for obvious reasons. But I think even the algorithm knows what the fuck went on with me and him, and the algorithm's like, no, I'm not suggesting any of these fuckers videos. He was bigger there, look, because he's lost weight. Look, he looks much better now. Way better. I think that was smart. He's still young, man. Very dangerous to get that heavy. Oh, here we go. There's some more suggestions. Roman Sharf. Of course, Nico kind of went head to head with everyone in the end, didn't he? Made enemies of everyone. if I'm not mistaken. Even Roman, who used to have his back. He still gets good views, though. Look, 250,000, 250,000, 750,000. Look how good he looks there. Jesus. Wow, he looks younger. I'll tell you what Ozempic will do in the tanning salon. Look, he's got 1.2 million on that one. Yeah, he gets a lot of views. Sure. Who was the other guy? Oh, yes. Roman Sharp. Now, is that still called Luxury Bazaar? Or has he changed it? No, it's Roman Sharp. 500,000 subs. Anybody still watch this guy? He had a video 5 hours ago. 1,500 views. But was it a live stream? Because live streams don't get the same kind of views. No, his views are pretty weak. What's going on there? Yeah. You see, this is why I'm talking about this stuff tonight. It feels like there's been a lull in the whole thing a bit. Like I don't know if people are losing interest in watches or just losing interest in the channels. There's Andy's watches on Instagram. I just wrote him the other day because I'll see him at here in Venice in a couple of weeks because Russell Crowe has a movie documentary showing at the Biennale de Mostra di Cinema. And I guess they're buddies. Are they? I don't know if that's a joke or not. I don't think so. So he's like, I'll see you there. And I'm like, okay, well, let me know if you need food recommendations or whatever. My friend lives across the street from the thing. He has penthouse apartments. So I think we're going to be throwing a lot of parties up there. This guy does not do what we would you guys watching me would think of as content, because most of you guys are not Instagram or TikTok people. This guy just goes on and chats. He's like, there's no photography of watches or anything. It's just like he'll review a watch collection real quick. He'll be like, oh, so I saw a watch yesterday I really like. He's just like, just chat. But it seems to work, You think of all the work that myself and Adrian Parker and people like us put in, even Britt Pierce, to her credit, the sort of work and research and the photography and the close-ups and the macros and the blah, blah, blah. Whereas these guys will just go on to TikTok and sit there. Look, he's just sitting on the floor next to his couch and you still get a big audience. So goes to show. Work smarter, not harder, right? He's a big watch fan, this guy. Yeah, I was trying to get... Did anybody buy a Sonner watch? Write to Freddie and tell him to come over. I know Freddie a couple of years now. I've been spruiking his watches in the beginning of my videos, and now Russell Crowe, is into his watch, bought 30 of his watches and showed them on one of his TikTok episodes, and now the guy's exploded completely. The brand, which for me is a personal victory because I took a lot of heat from a lot of people for showing those watches. And now you have Russell Crowe to deal with, assholes. Anyway, so Crowe's going to be here in Venice. Freddie's in Sweden. It's only a couple of hours flight. And... Andy from Andy's Watches is going to be here. I was like, Freddie, why don't you fly down? I'll take care of it. I'll set you up. You have a friend who lives in Venice. It's not like you're going to be lost. I'll pick you up at the airport and whatever, and I'll show you around and show you where you need to go for, the Biennale, for the film fest. But he says, I'm too busy, I have too many orders, and which is a nice complaint to have. But I'm like, dude, you can take 24 hours out of your schedule and write, because apparently he's on a first name basis now, or at least a speaking basis or emailing basis with said actor. You think the guy's not going to say, hey, yeah, sure, I'll meet you for a coffee or shake your hand or take a photo. Jeez, that's really going to be great for his brand if he does that. I don't know. So if you want a Sonner watcher, or if you emailed Freddie, do me a favor and help me out trying to convince Freddie to come over. He's a nice guy. I don't know what it is. He just feels like he can't take the time out to come and meet Russell Grove. He just turned his brand around and probably his life. I don't know. Seems like a no-brainer to me. What was I looking at? Oh, yeah, I was looking at Andy's one. Oh, let me pull up this super chat. Theo Bernie, $20. Thank you. ID is a good ID guy. Yeah, I'll pull him up as well. And if you search up his 3-hour live shows from the COVID era, his watch is worn by people all over the world. Okay. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, I wanted to look at, because everyone knows Andy's watches, and he's got 26,000 followers. Like, I know I have less now because my Instagram got banned, but I was over 90 before I got banned, my first one. And I mean, 26 is an achievement, but I'm just surprised because he's so well known. I was expecting 226, but maybe he's bigger on TikTok. Let me check. I think TikTok might be where he really lives. I even signed into TikTok on this stupid machine. I guess I am. How do I even search? Using a computer, a regular computer. Oh, here we are. Let me look for Andy's watches. Here we are. See if he. Oh, yeah. See, that explains it. It's TikTok where he really resides. Smart. See, if I had half a brain, I'd be doing this shit too. Silly me. Yeah, he's got 200,000 here. 3.1 million likes. Yeah, he does the stuff to TikTok and then just throws it over to Instagram kind of almost as a whatever, an afterthought. It's TikTok where he really lives. Okay. Yeah, he's pretty bloody massive there. Good for him. Who else was I looking at? ID guy, right? Of course, there's such a difference between a TikTok type format, an Instagram type format, and then a YouTube. They're just different beasts completely. It's like the difference between a commercial on TV or a person who makes those versus a filmmaker, or a real director or whatever. It's like a totally different thing. ID guy, 111 subs. He's still around. Is this the guy from South Africa? He's got a South African accent. How's he doing? Yeah, that's him. Yeah, he's got a South African accent. I'll spot that anywhere. Oh yeah, he's talking about the new Blanc Blanc, this new thing that came out. Everybody's talking about this watch. It looks like one of those vintage Seamasters from Omega. Really reminds me of that. It's a good looking watch. That was the Seiko. Yeah. Yeah, he's good. He's good. Who do we hate? Do we hate any channels? What do we hate? Brit Pierce? I don't hate her. I don't know. It's a long fucking story. Turned nasty. Yeah, she is a lot of. I think she did one recently with a lot of views, and I rolled my eyes because it was more fear mongering, which seems to be her strong suit. You know, I think that was the first time she got a big video. See, look what happened to Rolex. Look, the Rolex problem. Like Rolex have a problem. Give me a fucking break. Well, she did get shit like 250,000 views. That is her strong suit. That's what our audience come for. They come for the doom and the gloom. It's all over, you know. It's crashing, you know. The wrath of the market will be felt. It's all that. That seems to be her, what her audience kind of love, which is so weird because she used to be such a positive and funny person. So weird to me. But I guess she has taken over as queen of the watch spaces, certainly on YouTube. Because Jenny isn't getting the views that Brit is getting. Think of it though. Jesus, I remember Jenny having Brit on her live show or coming onto her live show or something. And it was such a moment. And I was mad proud because I was pushing Brit for ages, telling everyone this is the next big thing. And promoting her at every opportunity. And the next thing, Jenny just comes onto her live show, and and people were writing in the thing going, well, Shane, why don't you come on too? I was like, I'm not taking any of this moment. This is her moment. This is amazing. That was back when Jenny was queen and Brit wasn't anyone. You know, amazing. How far we've come from there. In many ways. Teddy, thank you, 6'6". Teddy, well, he's got to be one of the top 3, right? Teddy's made some really high quality content. He really has. I mean, some of the videos I've seen of his explaining like a spring drive and a Grand Seiko and stuff are just, he's got 1.5 million followers or sub. And yet his latest video has 82,000 views. That's not a good look, is it? But this one has 300,000 views. Best quiet luxury watches. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, his photography was always good. His presentation was always good. He's very clean. That's nice 4K footage. He's using a light diffuser there, you can tell. There's a lovely Piaget. I just had one of those in gold. Yeah, most of these shots are his. I don't know if he's still doing the camera work himself. He's got to run a business these days, but it's always been pretty high quality, this stuff. Does it really grab me, like pull at my heartstrings, or really, you know, spark my imagination, or bring a tear to my eye or anything? No, absolutely not. It's very, very corporate and sterile kind of content. But some people, that's all they want. They don't want fucking classical music and shit. They just want dimensions, prices, little history, some close-ups, some comparisons, and they're fine with that. But I have seen some incredible illustrations, like explaining, hey, there's the Piaget again. I'm kind of missing the Piaget now. That's terrible. Oh, Marco, are you watching? Yeah. I remember sitting like, hey, it's a brigade. I like that he, shouts out to like the classier brands, the OG brands. Is there any more OG brand than Brigade? Probably not. Oh, Teddy Balsar in Espanol. Look, smart. This guy never sleeps. He's like a robot. He sits up thinking all night, about his next plan. Look, he's had comedians on. He's had Dr. Mike on. He's out there doing his thing, man. It's pretty good. Let's see what his biggest video is. Affordable watches. 20 affordable watches. 4.2 million. Which, when you put it up next to Jenny's history, it's actually not as impressive. But he has a lot of videos in the millions. So I suppose he made up for it then. Yes, he has tons in the millions. In the between the 1 and 2 million range. That's a lot of money if you're collecting the revenue, guys. That's about $8,000 to $10,000 you're collecting on each one of those videos from YouTube alone, let alone promoting your own store, which is what he's doing. Of course, he's big friends with Kevin O'Leary. That was a smart move. Yeah. Well, he's still going. He's got a store now. He's turned it into his business. His wife was a big YouTuber. She recently quit. During COVID, his wife found herself with nothing to do, and she started a little kind of relationship advice channel. That was kind of sweet. It was pretty simple. And it got pretty fucking big. I think she's pregnant now or something. So she was like, you know what? He can bring home the bread while I raise the child. G530 can't stand Teddy since he keeps inviting Mr. Wonderful on a regular basis to his. I know. Leary is a bit insufferable. He's just so arrogant or something. It's weird. He also pretends to know. He doesn't say collection. He said watch collection. He goes collection. Like he can speak French, which he can't. He's like Stanley Tucci, pretending to speak Italian, which he can't. There's a complete side note, by the way, guys. Stanley Tucci knows nothing about Italian culture, cuisine, or language. So enjoy his show. He's a complete charlatan. Seems like a cool guy. He's a good actor. But he doesn't know. I don't know why on earth he's this ambassador for Italy. He can't even form a sentence in Italian. His worst offense. I've been watching him for a little while. I don't watch the show. It's insufferable for me. But, I followed him on Instagram. I might still follow him on there. But I notice certain things. I'm like, what? And he keeps posting pictures of food that he's doing, the classic Italian dish. And he made paccheri with steak cubes. Paccheri are these really large, open, round pastas. Great with fish. And he made it with steak cubes. Now, if you're Italian in the audience, you just threw up. An Italian would never eat steak on pasta, ever. Certainly not steak cubes. Italians never cut their steak into cubes ever. It's not a thing. And if you understand the Italian palate, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like chicken on pasta. It's just not a thing. Or pineapple on pizza or whatever. It doesn't exist here. But he came up with one. This is total sidetrack. We've gone off the YouTube. I'll come back to the YouTubers in a minute. He says, one of my favorite things the Italians say is non posso. It means I can't. I just can't. You know, the way people go, oh, you know, I can't with that guy, you know. I can't. Did you hear that song? Oh, I can't. I can't stand that music. You know, I can't with this. I can't with this situation or whatever. And if you go into the comments on that video, which is on TikTok and Instagram, there's about 3 billion Italians going, well, not billion, I'm exaggerating for comic purposes, saying, have you lost your mind? Because Italians never say that like America. It's an American thing to go, oh my God, I can't. It's like, oh, did you see his new car? Oh my God, I can't with that car. He keeps talking about it. I can't. You know, people say that. It's very American to go, oh, I can't. I can't. Like, I can't stand it, or I can't be here to see this, or I can't, you know. Now, non posso means literally I can't, as in, can you meet me tomorrow at 3? No, I can't. I'm working. It literally means I can't, not I can't in that sense. And I reckon he just learned that phrase because he's finally trying to learn the fucking language. And he just decided to make that up. Anyway, the comment section is all people going, no, that's not a thing. We never, ever do it. We never use it in that way. Why did you say that on TV for everyone to see? Are you crazy? Anyway, slight digression. Daniel is worse than Stanley. So is Daniel Katz. Thanks for the super chat, man. Who was the one from Leeds? Loved Omega. You mean the English watch collector? Dirk loves him. Like, Dirk fancies him. English watch. Like, Dirk finds him really endearing and stuff. Dirk has odd taste. The English watch. Is it this guy? Yeah, he's a big Omega fan. Nice photography. That's decent. Very decent. Nice clean nails. You have to be careful as well when you're doing those close-ups. Make sure you scrub. You know, you never know. I mean, most of us walk around with perfectly clean nails. I'm just saying, it might be one of those days you happen to have something on your nail and it looks like dirt, and oh God. Yeah, he's a nice guy. I don't really watch his channel, but seems like a decent fella. What else? Who else? Slide. What's on the wrist, mate? I'm wearing a Patek 5140 GA perpetual collar. Jesus. Jeez. 5140J. My God. Well, that's not about. Oh, hey, by the way, it brought me to maybe the king or one of the kings, Tim Mosso. That was lucky that you said that. Tim Mosso. Can anyone argue with this guy about watches? No. This guy is one of the kings. Is that the watch you have on your wrist, Slide? It's a beautiful thing. Tim Mosso. How How could I forget about Tim Mosso? The 1916 company. Of course, it was never Tim Mosso channel. He was always working for someone, right? Some channel. I'll make this bigger. Okay, let's just find a different video. Boy, oh boy, if you want a review, if you want a quick specs on any watch, this is the guy to come to. Just 10 million reviews of watches. There he is. He speaks incredibly fast and he's very articulate, actually. I have the sound off. Sorry, guys, just deliberately, just in case one of these guys is, decides to be vindictive or something. They all seem like decent people, but I've had enough trouble assuming people were decent in recent months. So I'm gonna have to learn not to be so generous with my time. He's going through gold Rolex here. Look at the nice lighting. Very bright, though. It's very washed out. That would turn you off a watch. Got to be careful with that. People like to see a little depth, especially with gold pieces. That's a nice watch. I'd wear that thing. Tim Mosso was a king, man. I don't think anyone knows more about watches than Tim. Probably the biggest expert, him and that Perez guy, Jose Perez. Slide Encyclopedia Watches, yeah. The Talking Hands guy, Andrew Morgan. There's an interesting one. Interesting guy. He came out from behind the camera. Not sure why he did that, but he has a lot of subs. Well, he would have, easily carried them over from, because the Watchfinder channel was massive, and mostly because of his production and his writing, which was quite clever. But he came out from behind the camera. Now we have to kind of look at him. Just a plain background there. No lava lamp. No wooden panels or fair enough. Guess it doesn't really matter. He's using all stock footage here and just talking. Guess it's easier than getting in and actually doing the photography. Yeah. I mean, he does well. This was a month ago, 50,000 views. Does all right. Andrew Morgan watches. He's got 335,000 subs. Let's see what his biggest one is. This is fun. Popular. 640,000 views. Cool watches that suck to own. You seeing the Speedy is one that sucks to own. You see, he's using the stock footage from the website. But, it's like this watch, that watch. Mike does the same. It's just talking and opinion and a little bit of writing and then use all the cutaways. This is the easy way to do. If I was a little smarter than I am, I'd do this too. I wouldn't get in with a fucking macro lens and make all my own shots. Bring it out of Venice with gondolas going by in slow motion. I just fucking use this stuff and just sit in front of a sheet of blue paper and tell you all why you did the right thing buying your Tudor instead of the Omega. Boom. Amazing. That's a nice watch. Look at that. Fuck me. AP. Hey, that reminds me. Grab some APs. Let me put them on. The Mad Watch Collector, Mark. Yeah, that's an interesting fella. Don't know what to make of him. He seems all right. Of course, I'm not really into the watches that he's into. I like Seiko, though, and he likes Seiko. But he's a big G-Shock guy, and Casio on the kind of, he has the same audience as Jody from Just One More Watch, who I should go over and have a look at now in a second as well. I haven't seen him in ages. Jody always covers like the Alibaba sales over the holidays. If you put in this coupon code, you can get this, for whatever little tiny brand for $89 instead of $99, or whatever. And there's a big audience for that. Guys are just happy to wear a $100 watch or a $50 watch. Scoff at the people who spend more. So I feel like Mad Watch Collector kind of probably that lives in that space, which is fine. Nothing wrong with it. Different strokes for different folks. I can't, I'll be 100% honest. Like, some people like his style. I just can't deal with the style, the hello and all that stuff, all the little edits that I'm just like, oh God, I'm gonna have a heart attack in this. It makes me anxious. Hey, look what I'm putting on. The Fidel. What some people consider my best watch. The Fidel Castro. There she is in all her glory. You dig it? It's a good watch. Yeah. No, it's good. It must be a lot of work. Speaking of work, you must have to sit there for hours in front of the computer doing all this little speed up parts, and it must require a terrible amount of energy to put on that character all the time, the kind of zany thing. But fine, people like it, so paid off, right? His voice is insufferable, Travis. You talking about a Mad Watch Collector? Look, it's not for everyone, It's like Rasta music. I can't listen to it. I respect it. I do have appreciations for some of it and all of that, but I it's not for me. Some people love Rasta. What's the old joke? What did the stoner say when he quit smoking weed? Holy shit, this music is crap. No, but I know people who love Rasta music, and there's the old French stuff as well. And sure, there's a beautiful culture of Rasta. I love the bass playing. It's so sparse. And I love that the 2 and the 4 are always on the kick drum. They rarely hit the snare drum. It's all hi-hat. And then the kick drum is in the 2 and 4. I love that. Just of course. But it's not for me. It's just not for me. I wouldn't go to a Rasta club or a Rasta bar or a Rasta concert. It's just everybody likes, and I also don't I'm not a big blues guy, Joe Bonamassa or whatever his name is. I'm not, or even Clapton. I'm just not a big blues guy at all. Unless, it's deep Mississippi or something in some smoky bar or some old black guy. That's kind of cool, but blues on a big stage with expensive lighting, to me, doesn't make any fucking sense. And it feels derivative. It is derivative. So it's just taste. Some people love the blues. You put on the blues, and then they feel at home. It's just a taste thing, and that's when it comes to Mad Watch Collector and certain channels, I'm like, okay, if that's for you, that's for you. I'm gonna get a heart attack right now watching that. I can't do it. There it is. I just can't. Tucci. Stanley Tucci. Yes. Chilsum Hunter. Chilsum Hunter is, to me, seems to be the Temu Adrian Barker. He looks like he's, what's his name? Kissholm is how it's spelled. Hunter. There's another guy I'm not. It really looks like it's born from. I think Brit Pierce is also guilty of this. They kind of modeled their channels on the Adrian Barker template, if you will. Like, look at his thumbnail. It has the diagonal line there. You see it? It's him on one side of the picture with a diagonal line and then the watch. This is an Adrian Barker thing, and he probably got it from one of the photography channels that he watches, which he's heavily influenced by. And Brit Pierce and this guy, just like they literally, they took the exact stamp, the template, and picked it up and put it on their channel. Look, he's even out with by a lake with a jacket. Oh, he's in fucking Scotland. Of course he fucking is. Or he is Scottish, so it's just hilarious. Like everything is almost exactly. You could get AI to say put Adrian Barker's face on this, and you would literally go, oh, it's another Adrian Barker video, These are nice shots though. Listen, you could do worse than model your channel on Adrian Barker's. He's got high quality photography. I've always said that. So, and it's very lean editing, and there's no cruft whatsoever on his presentation. So, there are worse people you could be modeling your channel on. Certainly, it stands out to me so obviously. But he's good. He's good. He's very dedicated. He's definitely a watch fan. But I don't think I've ever sat through one of his videos. Is that bad? Maybe I should. Maybe I need to learn something here. What has he got here? A Tudor. Oh, he's got that yellow thing. Even the fucking studio looks the same. What are they all doing? God. That is an ugly watch, guys. Come on, that yellow thing. Sometimes I feel like some of these brands put out a watch deliberately ugly just to see if we'll all fall for it. Ooh, that's nice. Dang. Wear that. Look at that thing. Oh, terrible. Disgraceful. He's good. I never, ever watch him. Hey, there's collectibles. This is a new channel, small. And he's talking about everyone. He's talking about the drama in the watch world. And he's even picked on me a little. Look, I'm in one of his thumbnails. Which is fair game. That's hey, look, I'm in another one there in Venice. That's fair game. But if you want to hear the gossip and stuff, he's a lawyer. He's actually a lawyer in LA. So he's spreading the good word about all of these things, how they really should work, and so on. So that's a small channel. Give him a sub. Why not? Help him out. Can't hurt. If you don't like it, you can always unsub if you really care that much. Or you might learn a few things. Because he'll actually take a look at someone's video who's doing slanderous stuff or whatever, and he'll tell you what's actually breaking the law and what's not, so on. So blah blah blah. He's even talked about myself and Brit. Look, that looks like me for sure. It doesn't look like Brit. AI gets it wrong sometimes, but he's worth checking out. Of course, if you want chat channels, I think the only one at this point worth anything, worth its salt at all, watch chat every night for a few hours, is Tim Wright. Tim Wright and Friends, it's called now. He's been going hard. He goes to every single event. He's at everything possible. He's always flying around the world to different watch events, covering them. He does bloody 3 or 4 live streams a day from Geneva and so on. It's crazy. Caustic. It used to be called Watch Gringo. Remember? Oh, I remember. I put her on the map. Don't you remember that? I was the larger channel that promoted her, and she went from 300 subs to 6,000 overnight or whatever it was. It might be a slight exaggeration, but she totally exploded from that moment, and I promoted the shit out of her. I don't know how I found her. I found her by accident, but I thought she was funny. And no, I never found her to be attractive, much to the in contrary to what everybody thought. No, it was never. It was not. She's a married woman, and so I even met her fella. It was nothing to do with that. It was to put more women into the watch space, like I did with Carissa and others. I found Carissa attractive. I can tell you that. But no, I was there, yeah, from the very kind of almost the very, very beginning. Yeah, I remember. And then she changed over to her actual name because Adrian Barker did. And then I asked Adrian, should I do the same? Is that a smart thing to do? And he's like, yeah, because you're limiting yourself. And I did, because he was right as well, because that way I don't always have to talk about watches. You know, the old name of my channel was the Timeless Watch Channel, which limits it to only watches, right? Jared Lee, Oshin did promote Brit heaps for no other reason but to help. I've done it with many. You know, it comes from my thing with the band. We supported these huge bands, even not so huge bands. And they never have to do anything. Like the big bands don't have to say anything or do anything to help you. But like, you know, Sammy Hagar from Van Halen comes out and they do like an hour of their show, and then the rest of the lads walk off and Sammy does a song by himself. And before he starts, he goes, hey, how about those guys, Mr. North, who supported us earlier? Give them a round of applause. The great guys from Ireland. Buy their T-shirt, buy their CD, give them a round of applause. And then he starts the song. Only took him 20 seconds to say that or less. And we're like, oh my God, he's so nice. And then we'd sell all our CDs and T-shirts. We could buy a sandwich on tour on the side of the road, you know, we're fucking starving artists. You didn't have to do that. And so many other bands were gracious. And I used to say to my lads in my band, like, if we ever hit a big time, we're going to be nice to the support bands. Okay, deal. because you don't have to be. A lot of bands aren't, you know. So we never made it massive, so we never got to test that. But now that I'm a slightly modestly sized YouTube channel, I see someone at the very beginning with like no subscribers, and they're like facing that, you know, horrible thing. Oh, I got 60 views or whatever. It's depressing. What does it cost me to give them, if I think they're decent and I think they're worthy of it, you know? Obviously, I'm not going to promote something I don't think is good, but if they're half decent, what does it cost me to just go, hey guys, check out this dude? You know, it may not change their life, but at least you're giving them a hand up or a shout out. You know, at least you're doing something. What does it cost me to do that? Nothing. Just a few seconds to go. So I did an episode. I did several where I like, I'm walking around Venice as usual. Everyone loves that shit. And then I go, you know, I'll recommend 3 channels. First one I'm recommending is, you know, I recommended Chris Negroni that time. And even Watch Trader and Co. I recommended one time. And others. And Britt Pierce was one of them. And yeah, it wasn't for anything. I got nothing out of it. Jesus. Absolutely not. But anyway. And then other channels have done, like Adrian Barker gave me a shout out one time. It's really hard to get that guy to give anyone a shout out. I used to think he was being stingy, but now I learned that actually he was just more evolved than me, because I would give a lot of people shout outs and promotion and help, and then pay the price for it later when they turned out to be assholes. I think you've all seen plenty of examples of that. So you be careful how far, no good deed goes unpunished, as they say, right? So with me, I eventually promoted Adrian's straps. He sold out of the straps in one night or something. And he called me. He was like, what the fuck did you do? Like, my wife is trying to deal with all the orders here. Like, I just showed your strap on my vintage Speedy. Gave it a good plug. And I saw him in London there a couple of months later, and he was like, fuck, thanks for that. But I also made a video for his coffee. Remember, he tried to sell some coffee for a while. I made a kind of a cool rock and roll video in a cafe here in Venice. But eventually he did shout me out channels that he watches, and I got about 500 or 600 subs out of that. Wasn't bad. I feel like most people who were watching him were watching me anyway, so it's not like. And who else? I don't know who else. Jenny one time. Sophie on Instagram. But yeah, these shout outs are rare. And I believe the reason why is because they all understand that you better be careful who you're, you know, vouching for. It's a lesson I keep learning. Be careful who you vouch for, Rush. but yeah. The CDM 1981. I'll shout you out, bro. Cheers, man. Thank you. AZ1712. To be fair, Brit put your timeless watch channel on the map. What are you talking about? You got a problem? I found it from her. Okay, so you found it through her channel. That's well and good. She didn't put me on the map. It's during COVID. You're streaming Venice. Yeah, so you found me through Brit's channel. That's well and good. That's not putting my channel on the map. It was already very much established on the map. She was the small channel, I was the big one. Then she passed me on the highway, which is what I said to everyone. I was like, this girl's going to be massive. She'd call me all the time going, hey, how much should I ask for? They're offering to do a thing. And what should I ask? I'm like, fucking ask for loads. She's like, no, I can't. I'm like, yes, you can. You're Britt Pierce. I was like her agent or something, I think what AZ1712 is suffering from there is the observation selection effect, which is understandable. No Rolex, no sex. Machine 100% promoted. Yeah. No, it's just that this other guy, he found me through. It was the other way around that time. That's fine. Eventually, I'm sure that started happening. Caustic, who's cooler, Brit or Jenny? You want to get spicy. I think, well, I'll never forget when Jenny was trying to do a little bit of comedy on her channel and Brit was trying to be more serious and corporate. I was like, what's happening to the world? Because Brit is naturally a funny person. I mean, I don't know what the fuck happened in recent years. It just got very corporate and stale, but it used to be really fucking funny. Like, she was actually hilarious. And of course, Jenny's German. The Germans aren't famous for comedy, for crying out loud. So her little attempts at kind of a parody thing at Rolex or whatever were just like, oh my God, don't do this. Like, the cooler person is probably Brit. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, Jenny, Adam Holiday. What's up, Paul Thorpe? He left the watch space. He couldn't get the views. Let me surmise it as quickly as I can. He couldn't get the views on his videos were pretty abysmal, despite him being a well-known character in the watch space, online at least. And I think it was frustrating him. Other channels were passing him on the highway, mine included. And it was frustrating him to see people like Nico Leonard and so on like fly into the sky with their subs numbers. So it really got to him. Paul's a competitive guy. He's a big soccer fan. So he's like, wants to win, it's really important. Some people are just like that, And the kind of things then went a little sour because there was some disruptions in the watch space, and also he wound up kind of vouching a little bit or promoting a guy called TPG, the Timepiece Gentleman, who was eventually arrested by the FBI and is now serving out a 5 or 6 year sentence or something. So it was a real egg on the face for Paul. That and a few other things I can't even remember now. It's all fucking blur. But he was always there was a BBC thing. They consulted him. The BBC were doing a thing on watch crime on the streets of London, and they consulted Paul. They even had Paul Thorpe on the BBC one time on some small show to talk about this kind of thing. And the show aired on the BBC. Everybody in the watch world watched it. We all got iPlayer, the BBC iPlayer. And he wasn't in it. He wasn't even mentioned or credited. And he was furious. And I'm not a young person. I've been around And my take on it, my reading on it was that the reporter probably got an earful from him at some point in interviewing him about the immigrants and the problem in the UK. And, that's the reason why our country's gone to shit, this kind of stuff. And she probably went, oh, for fuck's sake, I can't, okay, thanks for the info. Bye. So, yeah, things weren't going well. And he pretty much announced that he was getting out. He was getting out. He was moving to Spain, sunny Spain. And it's like Sexy Beast, it's with Ray Winston. It's exactly that, actually. He just before he pretty much announced he was quitting it. He was quitting YouTube or something. He was just super frustrated. Things, it was hit after hit after hit. Bad. And then he saw some story about some young girl who was assaulted by an immigrant, and then they didn't send the guys to jail. It wasn't a harsh enough sentence or something like that. And there's like kind of that outrage. Oh my God, what's wrong with our justice system? It's gone to shit in this country. I remember my old England, this kind of stuff. And he made a video about some story like that. And it was called The UK is FUCKED. Right? That was the name of the thing. So of course, all these people are like out there outraged by the poor Pakistani family or a poor Syrian family that moved in down the street who don't fucking speak English or whatever, they of course are going to click on this. Yeah, the UK is fucked, So all of a sudden he had a viral video and he got like 1 million views or something like that. He was chuffed. He was proud as punch. It just lit up his face like victory. Of course, it was nothing to do with watches at all. It was just about, rage baiting. So he just pivoted. He just went, fuck it, this is my calling. This is what I'm good at. And he made another video going, oh, some young lad raped a girl and didn't go to jail. Whoa, all of that. And got more and more views. And then he became one of these guys. And seen photos with Tommy Robinson, the Stephen Yaxley Lennon guy who calls himself Tommy Robinson for some reason. And all of that. He just found a new home. He was taken in by a different flock. And he's still there. He moved to Spain. So he's an immigrant himself. The irony of it, of course, goes right over his head. But one could argue that he's not even in Spain because he's in Benidorm, which is essentially Britain. Britain with a bit of sun. And yeah, that's what happened to Paul. Honestly. Someone called me out recently for selling NFTs with him. And I was like, you're fucking right. What the hell was I thinking? That was not my proudest moment. He was on the phone going, come on, Shane, get in on this. We'll make some money, some real money. It was all about the money. All he could ever talk about was, I went, all right, I'll take some photos. Fuck it. And I regret doing that was a mistake. Anyway. Who else was there? Did I miss? Are there any new small channels that people think are worth pushing, mentioning? Again, I have to be careful. But let's see. Tommy Robinson is from Irish descendants. Yeah, he's He's a racist Irish. Yeah. He has an Irish passport. Fought in the Easter Rising. Yeah. Don't get me started. No Rolex, no sex. He ran off to Spain, flew out after deleting all his videos when the riot started. Yes. I was posting about it. Then he made a video going, I've got a stalker. Like he never met me or whatever. So, and he got all his thugs because they're all they're men in their 50s, balding, with the thick layers of fat on their neck. You know, from behind they have the rolls from all the lager and the cider. You know, they're that bunch. They're like straight out of a Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels movie, or you know, the whatever that director's name is, Snatch and all that. They're straight out of one of those movies. All these, so there, I got loads of this. You fucking petty scumbag, you know this. Telling me all about the boats coming over. Classy bunch. Yeah. It's wild. They're pretty wild days. Guy Ritchie, thank you. CDM, thank you. Guy Ritchie movie. But not as cool. Nowhere near as cool as those guys. Guy Ritchie had a way of making them all seem very cool. It's like what Scorsese did with the Mafia in New York. They weren't that fucking cool. They weren't as cool as De Niro. Or Donnie Brasco, you know, Lefty from Mulberry Street. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, the watch vault also hurt. I remember, yeah, he made the digital watch vault, and we were like, this is a cash grab. Yeah, we were all quite cynical about it. In the end. Darren Roberts. Anyone else found a YouTube channel called Scott Adam Lancaster? He does some really funny skits on Instagram, but is it watch related or not? Scott Adam Lancaster. Hope you're not sending me in the wrong direction here. I mean, if we go off the watch topic. Oh, this guy, he is about watches. I know this guy. He does do skits mostly about his frustrations trying to buy a Rolex, correct? I have seen him on Instagram. I have indeed. He is, yeah, he seems pretty good. He's a watch guy, and he talks, well, at least the skits that I've seen are all about trying to buy a Rolex but not being allowed to buy a Rolex, or, you know, whatever. We went to Thailand. No Rolex waitlist in where? System in 2026 changes everything. Look, he'll sit there and talk about, yeah, this guy's pretty smart. Thanks for, bringing him up, Darren. I didn't know his name. Sorry. There's 250,000 views. He did well here. Of course, he's saying the new Rolex waitlist system in 2026. Sorry, I read that wrong. So that's, of course, going to bring in the views. Yeah, he's decent. Yeah. I should probably watch more. Am I subscribed? No, I'll subscribe right now. There you go. I wasn't subscribed. Feel bad. All right, who else? Who else is decent or terrible and should be avoided? Ethan. I'm so happy the day and the life shit fell off. CRM, Roman, TPG. Yeah, it was kind of dark, wasn't it? Especially TPG. I thought he was without a doubt, the most egregious. And it's been proven now, right? Beyond a shadow of doubt. He was literally stealing everyone's watches. Fucking crazy. And their money. The wrist guy from Germany, Brian. Is that the guy who does the videos with producer Michael? The wrist guy. Wrist guy. Oh, I don't know him. Should I show him? I don't know this guy. The wrist guy. Oh, yeah. Doesn't have many views. Okay, he's good. All right. I'm not playing any audio because I don't want to get in any trouble with anyone. What happened to like Design Atelier? Is he still around? The guy out in Aruba? Design Atelier. Or Atelier. Only 30,000 subs after all this time. That's, oh boy. 3 months ago was his last. No, 2 months ago. 1 month ago. Let me have a look here. 4 days ago. Okay, so he's still very much for some reason his videos don't pop up in my feed anymore. He's quite good. He has really good shots and info, and the way he animates everything with his iPad is kind of cool. That's a nice watch. What is that? Astronomer Moon Phase by Ageloker. Interesting. Look at the moon on that. Dang, that's kind of cool. Let's see. Does the moon spin? It has to, right? Moon has to go round, right? I'm just curious. Sorry, guys. Light digression here. Yeah, the moon. Oh, that is cool. Oh, I like that moon phase. Well, glad I put on this video. I've never done a real video on a moon phase watch properly. Yeah, he's good. Design Atelier. Daniel Katz says that he's working on his Flux watches release. So he's releasing his own watch. That's cool. Wow. You know what? Maybe it's just me. Maybe the watch world is moving on fine. And I'm just not noticing it. Oh, yeah, Brian, that's, yeah, the guy with producer Mark Gabbard. Yeah, that guy. He's always with producer Michael these days for some reason. What's going on there? Darren Roberts, it's a real shame Elizabeth Grant left. YouTuber content was quality. It was very, very quality. She put a lot of work in. She was a very nice person. I believe she got ill. I believe she had some illness. That was, there's another person I promoted, and I helped her pick out a new computer setup. I convinced her to go Mac, move over from a PC and start using a Mac and Final Cut Pro. I told her how to use the free edition of Final Cut Pro and so on. Yeah, it was good. It was nice quality stuff. Yeah, really nice. I don't know what happened. I'll reach out to her eventually. Travis Watts, constant time is worth mentioning. Constant time, like Constantine? Is it a play on that word? Or it's Vacheron Constant, is it? Constant time. Constantine comes up instead. Let me put in watches. Oh yeah, there he is. Okay. This is no, that's not. Is it Timefall? Oh, do you have a link for it? Because it's not coming up in any of my searches. A lot of other stuff is instead. Jared Lee, I liked Elizabeth too. Loved her Tailmaster Denim. She was good. She put the work in. Like she'd do little montages of her waking up in the morning, getting coffee and stuff, or out in the garden or whatever. Like she'd put a little story together. It was kind of cool. There's Johan with 2000 South African. Thank you, man. What an amazing. Let me give you a big bang boom for that. Seeing as it's Friday night, that's what we do, right? That's amazing. Super chat, man. Thank you. Oh, legend. Thank you, man. I'm going to go over to Dirk real quick. I don't think I'll spend the whole night on with Dirk because I have stuff. I have to get back to work, film these watches so I can get paid. But I'll go on for a little bit, at least bring the crowd over and get the conversation started. Or maybe I'll work on it while I'm talking. Maybe I'll film right here while we're chatting. I'll let him talk. Excuse me. I'll let him talk away and I'll get the camera over. That's an idea. Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. I think we covered up most of them there, the important ones at least. Yeah. I suppose the channels are just chugging on. Like maybe what's happened is that the connection, like I'm still great friends with Tim. I should go on Tim's live. I haven't been on there in ages. I should do that. I think I'll always be friends with that guy, you know. He's just solid. He's reliable. He's, you know, kind of a loyal guy and, you know, solid character, good quality character, good upbringing, you can tell. But there was a time when everyone was kind of slightly rubbing shoulders. Like when I was in Geneva, I was in the Leopard Lounge having cigars, and Roman Sharf came over to shake my hand, you know. And it was like old times. It was like, oh, yeah, old buddy, you know, kind of thing. I mean, I was at dinner with him 5 years ago in London. But there was a time when everybody wanted to be a community, you know. I think Paul Thorpe was actually, to his credit, was one of the driving forces there. Like, let's all be friends. Let's stream together. Let's all go to the London Watch Show together. Or let's meet in Vegas, or let's meet in New York, or whatever. And there was this kind of sense of like, whereas I think that that's probably splintered now. And like everyone's an island now. It's kind of all separate, you know. That might be for the better. I don't know. Maybe it maybe it is. Some people are reluctant to collaborate And then some people won't collaborate because they're just, you know, terrified of getting dragged down with someone else or whatever. So they're probably legitimate concerns, honestly. And we put on, because I grabbed the other AP, so I'm taking off the Fidel. Oh, by the way, I still have that Speedy for sale if anybody wants it. This one. It comes on the bracelet, but the bracelet has stickers on it. It's in the box. It's all minty. So I stuck it on this Michael Knapp strap. That's the Tokyo 2020. The Olympics. It's a beauty. It's a lovely watch. I'd like to keep it, but I don't think I can. Let me put on the watch that everyone last week was saying during the John show, which did very well, by the way. Self and John chatting. Talking about becoming the one watch guy, or, you know, reducing the collection significantly. I think everybody said this, or the Seamaster. The original Seamaster was very me. If they thought of like what watches him, that it would be this. And figured I'd put it on. Is that the me watch? Should I just sell everything and just keep this one big heavy hitter Royal Oak Chrono? Figured I'd wear it for you guys. Dreamkeeper. Love your videos with the live chats. Very much appreciate your views and watch entertainment. Thank you, Dreamkeeper01. $20. Thanks, man. Hey, listen. Monday there'll be another paid review video, but they're watches that I love. I don't show any watch that I don't think is interesting to you guys, or that I can, or slash and more and than or, but that I can make an interesting video on. You know, I like to. I have a lot of watches here that I've turned them down because I'm like, I'm not showing my audience stuff. I don't want to see this shit. But some brands come in and I'm like, hey, that is gorgeous, especially for the price. So this is one of those. I can't say yet because I have to keep quiet, not mention it or the brand till Monday. But they're gonna fucking sell out. They always sell out because they're so gorgeous for the price. It's amazing. Anyway, so I'll be doing that, and then shortly after that, hopefully the Turin video with the Breguet, which is not a sponsored video. I don't have a deal with Breguet. My God, that would be a beautiful thing. But hey, you never know. After I put out this video, I might get a call from them. Unlikely. But yes, so that's going to be on. It's going to be old school, timeless watch channel style. Walking around the city, montages and classical music, and showing you guys food and drink and monuments and architecture and history, and also including the watch in there. My God, guys, when you guys see this watch, I know you don't follow me on Instagram, half you fuckers, so I'll show you. I'll show you how do I do this? There's some stuff on Instagram, just some preview shots of the kind of thing you can expect. What's up with how do I find my, oh, that's my For You page. Yeah. There's one shot that's from the old cafe where they first made a Tramezzino. tramezzini, which, you know, I love here in Bennett. Very important to me, those sandwiches. And I discovered in Turin that they make them, they started making them in Turin. That was the inception. So I was like, hold on a minute, what? And they were like, yeah. And it all started in that bar over there. So I went to this little cute little bar. That's a iced coffee right there, a shikarato. And there's the Brigade by the Piazza San Carlo. And there it is by the Cafe Torino. One of our favorite places to go. I went with my girlfriend. One of my favorite places that we went the whole time. There's me making a face, eating the tramezzini. I wasn't very impressed. I prefer the Venice ones. There's some close-ups of the Brigade. That's what it looks like on my wrist. That was in Baratti in Milano, a famous restaurant. We went for a very snooty lunch. That is in the Farmacia, which is an old pharmacy that is now a bar. And look, they have the bottles on the, like, old medicine and stuff on the shelves, but it's not medicine. Well, it is. It's Negroni medicine. And that is the Molo Antonelliana, which is was originally a synagogue, actually, and is now a museum of modern cinema, and probably the most recognizable building in Turin because it sticks out like a needle over Turin. That is the Duke of Savoy, his statue in the center of Piazza San Carlo, and the twin churches. I explain everything in there. That is a close-up of the back of the watch. As you can see, it's nothing short of pure art. There's me again talking. That's the watch in Baratti, Milano. And there you see there's the museum, the Antonelliana. I can't even say it. The museum to cinema. It's behind there, sticking out like a big needle. I see it's the landmark with the watch coming soon. There you go. Anyway, so let me go over to Dirk. Thanks for interesting chat. It's nice to kind of recap on all the YouTube channels. I'm glad they're all still chugging away, just like myself. Still doing their best to entertain. Nice. I'm going to go over with Dirk now on the eye bashers and continue the conversation over there. He's a lot of fun. Let me get the link for it. Let's stick it in the chat so you can click on it directly, and I'll see you over there in a minute. I might actually start working while I'm talking so you can watch me work. You can see what it looks like to do macro shots. So there is the link in the chat. Just go over to the chat or just leave it play if you have autoplay on. Hopefully you have autoplay switched on. Once I end this stream, it'll pop you over automatically to the eye bashers. iBooks from Slide. Enjoy your content and streams. Thank you, mate. Cheers, brother. That's much appreciated. Let's maybe see you over with Dirk. All right, fellas. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys very soon. Watch out for the new content next week. Thanks for all the super chats and PayPals. Peace and love. Take it easy.